Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Frecovery Friday. We are so excited.
So excited.
How you feeling, honey? You ready to do this thing?
So ready to do this thing? Yes.
And we want to welcome our guest, Jared Clark from Scipio. We're going to be talking a lot about technology and how that can impact the addiction recovery industry. And we're going to be looking at all kinds of different angles. And Jared, thank you so much for joining us, man. We're very excited to have you with us today.
Thanks, guys. Happy to be here.
Yeah. So where are you? Where are you located? Where are you at right now?
Right now, I'm just at Scipio's headquarters in American Fork. It's not quite as cold, I think, as where you guys are, but at Scipio HQ.
Yeah, and so just to be clear, because a lot of people that will see this don't know Utah as well as we do. So you're in American Fork, Utah, to be clear, which is just outside of Provo. And then we've got, of course, we're just outside of Park City, Utah, in our beautiful little community here in Midway. We've been snowed in for a couple of days. Very excited to be out and about today. But Jared, thank you so much for joining us. So why don't we just start off by sharing with our viewers a little bit about what Scipio is, just in general terms. And before I let you do that, hey, thanks for joining us. Those of you who are with us right now, I so appreciate you tuning in. But Jared, why don't you share just what is this Scipio thing?
Yeah, no, so Scipio started as the belief that if a business could better communicate with their customers, they could provide those customers better experiences and have better relationships. And because of those relationships, businesses would grow. And so we started with that belief and found kind of a niche in the text messaging space. And we built a communication platform that has got its heart in text messaging that allows businesses to reach out to their customers through text in a very personalized and individualized way. And so we've been doing that here for a few years, and it's just been fun to watch it grow and see how all of these different businesses who want to provide these great experiences and services to their customers are using this tool to communicate.
Yeah, we found it very fascinating. So one of your co-founders is an old friend of mine, and we got reacquainted with Randy, and he had invited us to connect with you to look at your technology. And I'm a big tech guy. At least I think I am. I was an early adopter to Slack, which is a great an in-company communication tool. I've been fascinated by how you can leverage technology to do things quicker, better, faster. And so to me, when we came down and visited with you, I want to say it was around the holidays last year. I was just, honey, we were both really fascinated. We had all kinds of questions. We were really curious about, could this technology interface well within the addiction recovery space? And so I'm happy to say one of the reasons we wanted you on is because we use the tool with our clients right now. It's something that we leverage to communicate with our clients when we're doing some of our trainings. And we had a light bulb that went off when we were with you. We spent a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours with you guys last year.
Yep.
I'm going to share, Jared, that one of the things I left so impressed with is that you guys have the ability to help business owners really give their customers that personalized feeling in the communication. So when they're receiving these text messages, it is a text message for me, not the 500 that you sent it out to, and it sounds just the same. And I thought, well, that's a game changer. I mean, I like anytime somebody makes me feel special. So it can be used so many ways, but that's, it's important to people. People like feeling, you know how we are. It just helps people feel like they matter. You matter to me in my business.
And they do. They really do. And the hardest thing for a business owner is showing everybody that when you have so many different people and so many different things going on. But absolutely, those people matter. I think that's why I felt so connected to you guys. As just when we were quoting Marianne Williamson and you guys were just laughing and smiling, I was like, man, these are people that really care so much about other people. So thank you for having me.
No, well,
it's our pleasure.
Yeah, I've got an experience, and this is kind of a segue to really get into this whole technology thing. So I've recently had to get a couple of different types of insurance policies. One was a life insurance, and the other one was augmenting my general liability insurance for a business. And in both cases, they are not technologically driven. In fact, you have to give them a check. You have to write a check to actually get those policies. And I mean, we don't use checks. Like it is so archaic, and the process of going through that takes so long. And they use mail instead of email, and there's all the, it's so archaic and slow, and the communication is horrible. And even when I talk to the insurance agents and they tell me how frustrated they are with that, as I was thinking about what we were going to do today, and I'm going through this process in both of those cases, I'm just going, why? So let me ask you, Jared, as to kick this off, why are people so afraid of technology in the first place?
It's okay if that's kind of a two-part question. It's technology in general, and then text messaging I guess as you get more into the specifics. So technology in general, I think part of it is this idea that technology can solve a lot of the problems, but where do we start? I mean, there's so many things, even in what you just mentioned with the life insurance. I mean, they're doing direct mail, they're not using email, they're accepting checks. I do think people are a little bit afraid sometimes to put sensitive information in an email or in a message of some sort, which I totally understand that. But technology really just enhances the experience and the relationship. I mean, could you imagine having a relationship today without using your cell phone? Could you imagine having in fact, I was just looking up yesterday, there's this website that is just people who love data. And this one gentleman showed a graph of his relationship with a girl that he met on a popular dating site. And they had sent each other 21,000 text messages over the course of 2.5 years. And he graphed it out. And can you imagine having a relationship today without sending a text message, or without having FaceTime, or without seeing what they're doing on social media? You can't, because relationships rely so much on the context of what other people are doing and the context of their lives, and understanding where they are and what they're going through, so that you can, when you talk to them, actually talk about things that are relevant. And so as far as technology goes, that's kind of my feelings on that. When it comes to text messaging, a lot of businesses worry that they're going to be seen as spammers, or they're going to intrude, which it's great that you don't want to intrude in your customers' lives. That's awesome. But there are hundreds of other businesses, unfortunately, that are yelling for your customers' attention. And so without a way to kind of cut through that in a very personalized way, you may not have their attention anymore.
Yeah, that's well, thank you. And I think if we were to encapsulate that all, do you think it's knowledge and fear? Do you think those are kind of the two, fear of the unknown and really just not having a better understanding about how it could really help?
Yeah, fear of the unknown. And then in an industry like insurance, I mean, it's worked for so long, so why change it?
Well, you know what? There's a company
mindset, unfortunately.
Well, there's a company called Blockbuster that stayed with that kind of mindset, right? And we know where it is today. And that's what the whole point of this show is about, is looking at innovation And, you know, for anyone who is familiar with the addiction recovery space, we don't have very good success numbers when it comes to treatment and really addressing addiction. And I don't think, in fact, I'm certain that it's not because we don't care. I think it's a lack of understanding of how can we better support and how can we leverage, you know, available technologies and understandings to really kind of help people move forward in their lives. And because we are big believers in technology, we use it in our own business. We've seen it work when we've worked with facilities. Yeah. I think this is an underutilized technology that you have. And so first, why don't you tell us about an industry, maybe in particular the fitness industry? How have you worked with the fitness industry and because my understanding is you work with trainers and with fitness centers in being able to stay in touch with their customers. So listen up, if you are part of the addiction recovery industry, see how this might apply to your world and to your company.
So it's been interesting to watch the fitness industry kind of morph and change over the last few years. We've gone from these big guys, $10 down, $10 a month, come, you're just one of many, to I actually want a more personalized, customized experience. And so you have kind of these smaller boutique, very personal gyms that are kind of popping up all over. And what they provide is more than just a place to work out. They provide a community, and they provide support, and they provide nutrition coaching. They provide a very individualized one-on-one experience and path for you. And people love that. People crave that. They want to feel special and important, and they want to feel like someone's got their back. And so in the fitness industry, what we have done is we've been able to work with gym owners and trainers to help them keep better track of their people, and then send them messages that is very, very relevant and personal to that person and where they are. And so if they have a potential new client that is a mother who recently had a baby and just wants to kind of get her body back, or if they have a gentleman who, I've just been sitting at my desk for the last 10 years and I've got dad bod, or, hey, no, they've got a young college student who's hoping to get married and wants to get in shape. They can provide messaging that's unique to each of those people without needing to kind of overload their brain of the different types of people that they have. And so segmenting those contacts and sending unique personalized messages to them. And what we've seen is that it's not only increased their ability to convert leads into buyers, but it's also increased their ability to keep people coming back. And on top of that, more than it's keeping them coming back, these people are actually meeting their goals because they have someone who's helping them stay accountable. And so let's say it's this mom who wants to lose 15 pounds. She has someone who is messaging her weekly, following up with her, hey, we had a tough workout yesterday. How you feeling today? Or hey, make sure you take it easy. Hey, it's Friday night, and you mentioned you're going on a date. That's awesome. Stay away from the soda. Little things like that. That's very, very specific to their clients and their clients' needs. And it's how you would message if you only had one customer and you could focus on them all the time. And unfortunately, as a business, you can't do that without technology, without having something that can help you do that. And so as far as transition, I don't want to steal your guys' thunder, but as transition into the recovery space, every person's recovery path is going to be unique. But there are things that are going to be consistent throughout. And one of those things is having people around them that care enough to check in and care enough to be there for them when they need it. And this allows you to be that person.
Honey, how do you see, like, when you think about all the different inner workings with let's just say with a treatment facility, how do you see this technology, this text messaging technology really used? Like as you walk through being in that process, where do you see it being utilized?
So I was just thinking about that as Sarah was talking, and one of the things in the addiction treatment space is really being able to, load those text messages for each person and sending them out consistently touching base with them. Again, that helps them remember that they matter, that there's somebody in their corner, somebody's got their back, somebody's holding that belief in them until they can believe in themselves. I think it seriously could be a game changer, and to not utilize the technologies available to us to really up the game in the addiction treatment space would be foolish, because that's where we're at. And people, like you were saying with the people dating, I love that, but we're all using phones. Just because you're in treatment doesn't mean you don't have a phone. And so it's an easy way to say, hey, how you doing? I'm thinking about you. What's new? How can I help? Whatever those questions are, that consistency means so much. Total game changer. I love it.
Yeah. One of the things that occurred to me and I'm thinking about, let's just put in a situation where you've graduated from a residential treatment facility, you head home, and so the hope is that your case manager from the facility checks up on you, your therapist checks up on you, your alumni director checks up on you, and if what we have seen and what the evidence is starting to point towards is that meaningful connection is really key to recovery.
Yeah.
Like from the community you have, from how you feel about yourself and all of those pieces, if you could systemize some of that messaging that just automatically rolls out. And, when I first saw this, one of the things I thought about was there are CRMs out there that do this with email in some way, right? Where it can systemize, or Salesforce when it comes to sales. But what do you do for that high touch, one-to-one text message experience? And you guys have figured that out, which is why I loved this product so much. And again, this isn't about pushing Scipio. This is about pushing an available technology that can connect you in a deep way, one-to-one, that gives a rich experience to your clients. And if we're committed to helping people, and the evidence also shows treatment is just a foundation. It is not the end of the road. It is simply the beginning. Yeah. This could help, because one of the things that we've seen in the industry is how many people drop off the radar. People are busy. You've got a caseworker that's got a huge caseload. You have therapists that are inundated with not only taking care of their clients now, but all of the charting they have to do and the groups that they're involved in. It's nearly impossible to keep a high touch with every single client. And so people fall through the cracks. This fills that gap, I think, in such a way that I honestly could see how outcomes would improve over time. And by the way, we could actually track some of that, right? Can't we? With this on the back end, isn't there a way to kind of track engagement or see what's going on? Why don't you talk a little bit about that and the capabilities of having an overview and a dashboard of how this works?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest idea is we want to make sure, we want to see when people are responding, and we want to see when people are not responding. Because if you're reaching out to check in with someone, typically if they're doing well, they're going to respond back and say, thank you so much, this is what's going on. If they go quiet, you know that there may be something going on. I finished the book, The Happiness Advantage by Sean Aker, and he talks about one of the biggest things to our happiness, and in the book he talks about happiness, joy, overcoming problems, all of those as one thing, as happiness. He talked about the biggest thing that we have is the people around us. And when things get difficult, those that persevere are the ones that turn outwards rather than turning inward. And so I love that, and the ability to make sure that they know that someone is there for them no matter what. And a text message is such an easy way. It's not, they don't need to pick up the phone. They don't need to check their email. It will literally come right to the front of their screen. and they will know that you're thinking about them and that you care about them and that they can respond and they can ask you questions in a very non-judgmental, safe environment. It just is so powerful. And I love that. I love the passion and enthusiasm that you guys have for making sure that these individuals are taken care of. Because you wouldn't get upset at a new mom for gaining 10 or 15 pounds or 20 pounds or 30 pounds after having a baby. It's part of life. You wouldn't get upset at the gentleman who sat at his desk and gained weight because he sat down all day. Don't get upset at these people or frustrated, or just be there for them. Love them. Take care of them. And that's going to be the biggest thing. And text messaging is just a small part of that.
Jared, so good. I love that so much. And you're so right. You are so right. Taking that judgment piece out of it. But I'm going to say again, one of the things I love about Scipio and this whole ability that it's bringing is the way that it can be consistent. Because it's like, you might hear from somebody when you first leave treatment a little bit, but then it wanes and people get busy, like James was saying. But having this technology, you get to be consistent. And trust me, after those first few weeks when someone leaves treatment, the people who are still checking in with them are the ones they know care, and probably the ones that they're going to reach out to when they need somebody.
So Jared, give me really quick as we start closing up here. Give me your website address if anyone is interested in looking at Scipio and want more information. What's that email, or what's the website address?
Yeah, it's just Scipio.com.
You made it so hard for me. Skipio.com.
And with the consistency, you have the ability to create sets of messages that go out on a consistent basis. I think that's what we're talking about here. And sorry, I didn't bring that up, but I can create a message that goes out every single week. I can create a message that goes out every other week or every third week, into as long as you want, and follow up on anniversary dates, maybe the date that they left their treatment facility or their birthdays, or again, it's those little moments that you create as you reach out to them that are invaluable, whether it's to a business or to someone who's trying to get their life back. Those moments are very powerful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jared, so much for taking a little time on this Friday morning. We so appreciate you and what you're doing there. It's enhancing our own business, and we hope those of you that are watching from the addiction recovery space, if you've got some questions or you want to learn more about this product or how to be more innovative with how you're communicating with your clients, Scipio is one of those great solutions. And then last thing I'm going to say before we sign off here, please join us next week. We're super excited. We've got David Staub from Texas, who is a sales extraordinaire. So he has got an amazing story, but he coaches his teams on how to be more mindful in their sales. I'm super excited about that because that's really kind of in our space of what we do with facilities all over the country. So until then, thank you so much for joining us, and please, please stay connected.